Thank you for tuning in to another episode of my Veterans to Success podcast. You probably know by now, my mission is to help 1 million veterans and entrepreneur business owners achieve the dreams, goals, and aspirations they deserve. That is why I created the Veterans to Success podcast, because I get to interview guys, men and women, who want to share their fascinating stories with you about their time before, during, and after their time in the military, so you can benefit and overcome your challenges. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be mesmerized, astounded, and entertained. Steve, hello, and welcome to today's podcast.
Hi, Joe. How you doing?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
And I've got to say, you're looking really pucker and really well, considering that you've come on here. This is how dedicated you are. You've come on here after having a bit of a bug a few days ago, haven't you?
Yeah, the whole family's been kind of man down, as he said, with a bug. So yeah, we've all had it. It was my turn on Wednesday, but I'm over it now. Fully fit again.
That's great to hear. And thank you for joining me. So we've had a chat offline, and I think your past is fantastic. And what I'd like to do is, first of all, I'd like you to share with us your journey before the military. What was going on in your life before you joined the military?
I mean, childhood-wise, I grew up in Runcorn, northwest, in Cheshire. Council estate lad, pretty much. Not kind of a bit of a rocky upbringing. I won't lie. So my mum kind of did the best we could with not much. She was an alcoholic for many years. My brother and sister's dad, quite abusive and stuff. So that went on for probably he was there when I was a baby up until about 13, so probably at 13 years.
Right.
Probably up until my teenage year, it was a pretty rough life, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of things you shouldn't have seen. But going from there, actually, how I got into the military is she obviously met up with my brother and sister's dad, and she met somebody who was in the forces.
Right.
Yeah, that probably kind of paved the way from the beginning, really. We moved to Cyprus as well. They got married and we moved to Cyprus, so we moved out of Runcorn because it wasn't too safe for me mum and for us to be there at the time. So we left the country to kind of get away, but obviously he married my stepdad, who was a completely different character, to be fair. They're still married now after all these years. So what 23 years we're married now. Bit of a massive turning curve in mine and my brother and sister's life, really. So yeah, we got out of Dodge and then we moved to Cyprus. A completely different way of life, a lot more chill. The old kind of council estate and the old kind of, I don't know, I'd say ruffians, I suppose you call them. Still kept in touch, still mates with many of them now. But it was definitely a better way of life and really, something that we'd never experienced, so it was good. But yeah, so we were out there for about 18 months and then moved down south to Bulford, near Birmingham, but you might know down there.
Yeah, I know Bulford.
Yeah. So yeah, I finished my schooling down there, and kind of moved out pretty quick, to be fair. When working away with one of my friends and his dad living in Oxford, kind of general work, really, on the tool, brick hobby and building site work, really, doing people's kind of block paving and all that good stuff. Done that for about a year, maybe a bit longer, and then kind of was going kind of down the wrong road, let's say, probably drinking too much for a young lad and getting up to all sorts. So decided kind of I need to do something with my life, really. Something needs to change. It wasn't going to end well the way I was going. So I kind of moved back in with my mum and stepdad and decided to train to join the military. I thought, obviously, I've been around military, the military environment for quite a while. You know, it would have been about 4 years now. I had a decent amount of knowledge of what it entailed. I had a couple of friends that I kind of grew up with had joined the military as well. So, I had I wasn't going in there blind. I kind of knew what I was getting into. So yeah, I decided to start training up when I was 18, joined the military, and it was, all fun and games from there, really, mate.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you. So in your former years, then it was a bit tough. And I know Runcorn well, actually. And there are good people as well as bad people in Runcorn, which is what you implied. And then, so you left Runcorn pretty sharpish because you feared for your lives, went to Cyprus, which is a great place because I've been over to Cyprus. Was your stepdad in the infantry or?
Gestures, who are now the Mason, which I joined the same regiment.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah, got that. Because when you said Bulford, because I did my Army Physical Training Instructors refresher course at Bulford. Yeah, so I know that well. So then you're prompted to join the military. So tell me, what day or what age were you when you thought, yeah, let's get in? And then what was your training like from being a civvy into the Mercian Regiment?
Well, I was probably about 18, maybe just turned 18 at the time when I decided to I needed to take a different path. And luckily I went back and I still had support with my mum and stuff, so I still had kind of somewhere to live. I got kind of not the best jobs, but I got jobs that were paying okay, that kind of kept me going money-wise. I just started kind of, a lot of it was running, really. Just getting out and me running. I was always been quite sporty when I was a kid. I always played football and stuff. I was quite, but probably that year of working away, didn't really do any sports, no kind of physical activity, which wasn't the best. And I was drinking heavily and doing other bits and bobs that I wasn't meant to be doing. So it took a bit of a toll on the old body. I'm not gonna lie. Even though I was young, I felt really unhealthy, unfit. So I think it was just about kind of getting out there and getting the fitness back. So press up, sit up, things to do. The military, for your PFT, your 50 press ups, 50 sit ups.
Yeah.
So it started off slow and built it up. I still, to be fair, but once I went and done, you do the 2-day assessment, don't you?
Yeah.
Right, something like that. I still weren't the fittest. I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't where I used to be. I was fit enough to pass all the tests and stuff. So, it was just that's it really.
Okay, so you passed your 2-day selection and you're in, and you probably heard phrases like "I'm your mother now" from the DS or something similar. So, what happened when you finished your basic training? How grueling was that? And then where did you go to afterwards?
Yeah, so I mean the basic training. I mean, when you're in there, when you're in it, this is awful. This like you're getting beasted and stuff. You're talking 2005 when I joined. So I think you could probably still get away with a lot of stuff they can't do now.
Yeah.
It was tough. When looking back on it, probably one of the best times emails you could earn. You probably heard a lot of people say that themselves.
Yeah.
But the change in lifestyle, maybe the discipline as well, like you probably didn't never have before you got there. Obviously, you come out your 6 months and you kind of drill into that, you're a soldier now, different mindset. Your fitness is top level, especially as an infantryman. Fitness is one of the the main focuses once you when you're in. Yeah, good time of my career, and yeah, when we joined, we went over to Northern Ireland. So we're in Northern Ireland for well, a 2-year posting, but by the time I got there, I'd done about 18 months out there. We were in Ballackinler, so Newcastle way. Again, we did all the different operational stuff out there, Breastbook Mill, South Lamar, all that good stuff, all the rider training drills. Again, probably really good time in my career, really, just because you're quite new, and I think as soon as you get there and get over that couple of months of being the new kid, the crow as they call him when I was in there, you get past that. You build friendships and stuff, and once you found your feet in there, it becomes a lot better. All the training and stuff, the Northern Ireland training, if you've been over there, it's different. It's a lot more fun over there. All the right training drills, that was all good stuff. So, and you had to be in and around people all the time because you couldn't go home. So you were fully based in Northern Ireland. So you're with the same lads on the weekend that you were through the week. So again, that builds bigger bonds, bigger relationships. So it was a laugh. It was a good time. I mean, we're over there, to be fair. Yeah, and a lot of going out and stuff like that. And there's not much to do, to be fair, out there. And, you kind of look and having a beer and stuff. So it was
which is in total contrast to when my mates, people in the time I was in, like in the 80s, I've got mates who were in the 70s, and Northern Ireland was completely different. So you go there then after the peace agreement, aren't you? And so what did a typical day look like in Northern Ireland at that time?
To be fair, a lot of it was a lot of training out there. So in Ballackinler, we had a decent range on there. We had the old the riot training village there.
Yeah.
And riot training drills when the March season was coming up. A lot of live firing drills, a lot of stairs, a lot of running and stuff like that, a lot of physical stuff out there. But even being honest, like the day-to-day activity it was different, but sometimes it could be, you could be, running in the morning and then back in the room playing PlayStation by, 10. A lot of the time you're waiting around. So when you were training, you were on.
Oh, and by the way, but for the taxpayers out there listening, like when I say PlayStation, that's obviously in the station playing at being a soldier and knowing exactly what you're doing and working tirelessly with taxpayers' money.
Bills, and that's it. Oh, it was good. When I always say about the military, so when you work and you work hard, how hard you actually have to work, even in ways like pushing your body to its limits. But and I go back to being like an infantryman, it's you have to be physically fit, and people understand how fit you need to be. Even stuff like kind of carrying the kit on your back, you need to carry. When you're working out, you're working hard, so it's only right when you get a bit of downtime.
Yeah, of course it is. And I'm only pulling you like because you work hard, play hard, and same with me in the engineers. Like we'd be building bridges and flipping all sorts. Like you'd be on an OP at 3 o'clock in the morning, and no one sees that.
That's it.
And I remember about fitness because the military fitness is a lot different. When I was it was in the 80s, and everyone was saying how fit footballers were. So down at Limpston, the Commandos challenged Manchester United players. They took them down for beat up and let them do the assault course and that. And they didn't do that well because their fitness playing football on the football pitch is a little bit different than the fitness we have in the military, isn't it?
It's completely different, running with no pretty easy. Anyone can do it. Take a 40-pound basic on your back and body armor and put a rifle and helmet on and a pair of boots.
Yeah.
gets a little bit harder, and it's, you know, I remember my missus actually. He come up to Cat Sick and base there, and I've just come off a tab on 8 miler CFC, and I put my day sack on. I said, yeah, I'll pick it up, put it on it. I let go, and she fell back.
Yeah. And this is just the day sack run. This isn't the full kit. Yeah.
They've all got bad knees, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So after 9/11, what happened next?
So we went over to Gatwick, Marne Barracks, I think it was. Gatwick, was it Marne Barracks?
Yeah.
Oh, we moved. We're at one camp and then moved. Can't remember which camp. I think we moved to Marne Barracks.
Right.
And it was there for quite a while, actually. So we went there and we started training for Iraq then. So we were going to Iraq probably about 6 months after we got back. So we kind of went into kind of training mode. Where did we go? We went to Belize as well. We went to Belize, went to the jungle for 6 weeks. Germany, do the kind of the firing drills out in Germany as well. So the training started pretty much as soon as we got back from Northern Ireland. The kind of serious training kicked in.
What for the build up to Iraq was that?
Yeah. So
and Belize. So you must laugh your socks off then. These celebrity get me out of here then.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Different ball game. Let's put it that way. I mean, a lot of the time it's, you know, we were out there doing training drills and stuff. Where it's a tough place to train out there because it's when you're in the jungle, not kind of the proper jungle. It's a different ball game. Navigation skills have to be at a certain.
Yeah.
The brain is horrendous at times. You're constantly soaking wet because of humidity and
and you've got the kit and you got to keep your gap clean and everything else. And
you're not allowed to shave and stuff. Being out there, so we all come out with big beards, and then your hygiene's got to be on point. You've got to, you know, we were getting water from the local kind of little river and putting the purity tabs in the water. Yeah. So I was thinking, or warm water for 6 weeks. It was tough. Like, it was good. I mean, you look back on it, good experience out there, good training, character building, and all that was what it was.
Yeah. I mean, and that's taken it to a different level, that, because then in the jungle, that does separate the real people, the men from the boys, the women from the girls, and And you were out in Germany. What was that doing?
Just firing drills. So they've got
firing drills.
Yeah, I think we were in Senelager, was it?
Oh yeah, Senelager, Sunny Center. Yeah, Sunny Senelager. Yeah.
So you've got all the kind of the Fibula kind of village out there. Your Fibula train out there.
Yeah, and for any, and for, if you're listening, you don't know what Fibula is. It's fighting in blood superiors. Yeah. So, and that's interesting. Totally, because I used to be involved in a lot of battle sims, organising for Fibula. We did it ourselves because we had to understand what you guys were doing. But setting up the flash bands for you to make it real. So yeah. So then after Germany, you're fully fledged and ready for Iraq. Then is it, or where did you go next?
We went to Iraq. So we'd done a 6-month tour of Iraq. Like 11.
What year was that?
11. So I think it was. I'm terrible with memory. So
right.
I'm pretty sure it was 07 to 08.
Okay.
Pretty sure it was. So yeah, we done 3 months at Basra. We actually, my company were manning the prison for 3 months.
Oh yeah.
Then we went to Baghdad for 3 months and done. We were attached to the British Embassy doing all the and the close protection stuff, kind of vehicle patrol and stuff once. Kind of back into what's the place called now? It was a Route Iris, it was called. There was another PB at the top of Route Iris, and we were doing kind of going up and down there for certain kind of tasks and stuff. But yeah, like I say, it was good tour. Not really a lot of action apart from IDF, really. A lot of IDF, kind of mortars, rocket attacks when we were in both places. We were in Basra. It was, every other day probably in Basra. Baghdad was, probably not as much in Baghdad. But still, a lot of close calls with kind of rocket attacks and stuff. So,
do you like a bargain? Well, for a limited time, it's about the 25th anniversary since I nearly died while on selection with the SAS, you can get yourself a life-changing program called the Pathfinder Ultimate Success System. You can do this by visiting thetransformer.co.uk/the Pathfinder. Here you will discover the techniques, systems, and success strategies I have developed from my 37 years in business and 15 years in the military. These world-class resources are designed to help you achieve the goals, dreams, and aspirations you deserve. So visit thetransformer.co.uk/the Pathfinder to order your copy now. Oh, and by the way, if you have not transformed your life in some positive way after 12 months, then I will refund you all of your money. So visit thetransformer.co.uk/the Pathfinder now.
Still fun in its way, I suppose, but regarding the kind of, hand-to-hand combat and that, there wasn't a lot of that, to be fair, being honest. It was pretty...
But mind you, to be fair, to put it into context, compared to living in the northwest of England, having a few mortars going off on a daily basis is pretty hairy for someone who's not used to that. And that's why I always find it interesting how us soldiers, sailors, airmen just put things down like mortars going off, fire going off, coming into contact. It's just one of those things. And actually, it's astounding, amazing that we just get on with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose you do. It's whatever. When you're in that environment, you do all. I mean, no one gets you ready. The training, doesn't get you ready for actual being out there and being in the thick of it. Like, but it's probably part of your job and you understand it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I suppose it is. You normalize it, but it's definitely not a normal situation. Let's face it.
No, not on a day-to-day civilian basis. Anyway, it might be for roughy, toughy soldiers, so to speak. But yeah, definitely different. So, what happened after you did Iraq? Then what happened?
Again, we come back. Kind of, you go through a kind of decompression phase when you come back. So, all the training slows down. You take all your annual leave and away on a tour. So you have a lot of downtime. Probably the 6 months after that. And then obviously once that kind of period's gone, you go into your more kind of training kicks up again. You pretty much always, the way it used to happen is kind of, you probably do a 6-month tour every 2 years.
Yeah.
So you're kind of always in rotation. So when we come back, it was downtime and then training stepped up, ready to go out to Afghanistan, which we kind of knew we were going 2010. So we've done training exercises. We went to Kenya for 6 weeks, which was, we went to the Falklands. Where else did we go? That's it, really. Yeah, Falklands. Yeah, Falklands was fun. Kenya. Yeah, it was a surreal place, Kenya. I'm not gonna lie, but it was tough. It was a tough environment to train. You probably asked a lot of people, especially like kind of people that have been in the infantry, what it's like over there, and it's tough. Tough place to train.
Yeah, it's a bit a bit warm and desolate.
Oh yeah, the heat is unbelievable, but it's the terrain as well. It's it's quite hilly, kind of rocky, and there's the terrain can be quite tough out there.
Yeah.
At the time, I was FSG as well, so fly support group, so javelin and guns. So we were carrying you know a lot of kit, javelin missiles, EPMP link.
That's not light. They're not light.
This is it. Like I think I had a javelin missile in me Bergen for like 4 or 5 weeks training out there, and it was horrendous. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I I I did a stint as storeman, and what we got was the cargo stuff, the 84 mil anti tank. That was a bugger to carry around. That it really messed up your day when you were carrying that around. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's no joke, and it makes it harder because obviously we were kind of assisting rifle company, so you'd have your rifle companies and kind of your fighting order, so your body armor, big sack, kind of weapons, but we'd be up given kind of like support up in the high ground.
yeah.
Obviously, all Bergens, water, rations, Jimpy link, guns, javelin missiles. It was.
Oh, you were carrying
It
over
is.
£100 then.
I would easily and it was and the terrain. Some of the mountains and kind of the terrain was tough out there. But people think it's flat, Kenya. It's far from it. It's like it was tough. We lost quite a few with injury out there. 1 or 2 with kind of heat injuries,
Yeah.
but he just couldn't handle the kit. But I was stupid enough to get through it, like so. But
Well,
to be
well
fair,
done.
I was probably the fittest I'd ever been in my military career when I come back from there.
Oh, well
Yeah,
done.
yeah, super fit. But yeah, lost a couple of pounds as well, to be fair.
Yeah, a good weight loss program.
Yeah,
Yeah. And so you came after that training, which was tough at Kenya and then the Falklands, which was enjoyable as well as having a lot of good training. You ready for Afghan now? Ian.
yeah. So again, we're going through kind of normal drills and stuff, getting you ready. You're always kind of polishing up on drills just because they're going to be used out there a lot. Getting the kit ready,
Yeah.
it was putting all the prep work in to go out there. And I think we all knew what we were getting into with Iraq. It seems to at that time was a little bit different. Afghan was
Afghan,
a
yeah.
bit different to Iraq at that time. We knew it was going to be, we were going to be fighting out there, and it was going to be tough.
And what was morale like? And because it's like in training, the calm before the storm, and the morale and what sort of language we're using to each other.
If I'm being honest, it was more kind of, I think you use humour a lot in the military to kind of mask a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I never felt scared when I was in the army.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's hard to explain. I was young at the time as well. I was 23. I'd been in the army for a few years, and now I've done Iraq. So it's weird. You feel invincible going out there. Nothing's going to happen to me. It's going to happen to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're confident in your training and stuff, and you're confident in the people around you. But yeah, maybe a bit of naivety. Sometimes it's one of them, but they drill it into you. You make sure you're in there.
And let's be honest, that you'll be a crack team because where everyone is on a fire drill, concert, anything. You just know where you're mucking us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think as well, our regiment is full of people from the northwest, usually the same kind of people. So we had a lot of people from Stockport, kind of Birkenhead, Runcorn, lads that have come from kind of probably tough background. So, you know,
Yeah.
I feel like that kind of made us, I don't know, maybe, I don't want to say fearless, maybe it's the wrong word, but I think a lot of us had already experienced stuff, like kind of coming through from an early age. So you've been around environments that were tough. So I feel like that makes kind of suffering more gamer soldiers, but it's kind of my opinion on it, really.
Well, I mean, and your opinion's important because you've been there, and your mix of it obviously helped you as well as other members of your team feel togetherness, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
So, where did you fly from to go to Afghan?
Bryce Norton went from.
Ah, good old Bryce, yeah.
Yeah, went from there.
And what did you go out in?
Where did we fly into? Like I say, memories quite short with stuff like this.
Right.
We flew into just outside Afghanistan, and then we got a hurricane into Afghanistan. Done the RSOI training for about a week, so you're acclimatized.
The RSI.
Yeah, so you're you kind of acclimatizement training, all the skills and drills that people that have just come off the tour have picked up, they kind of pass on. So kind of detecting IEDs and all that stuff. It's like a week to 10 days of getting used to what it's like out there, from the people that have just come off tour and people that, and again, it's getting your body used to the difference in temperature, obviously the weather and stuff. So,
and did the team that was handed over to you, how did they look? How did they perform? Did they look tired? And oh, thank goodness you're here, and it's yours.
No, not really. I think, I think it's just the way British soldiers are kind of. I think they're built a bit different, where you don't give much away.
Yeah.
Got that humour to fall back on.
Yeah.
So again, weakness is never usually shown, and I know it sounds kind of words changed now, haven't they? The world's changed, but back then it was, you didn't give too much away. So even if you were feeling something, definitely wouldn't let people kind of see you were feeling a certain way, or just from the things that probably drilled into you. Like I said, different now, isn't it? I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean, I suppose that especially when you're in it, you have to show unity in strength, and then afterwards, when you're in the squadron bar and then a relaxation situation, then you can sort of start sharing a bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You're probably right. Again, once you're in that work environment, it's done, isn't it? So it's serious work out there. So again, they weren't giving too much away, but yeah, I think when we got to our PB, so we were in Babaji. We went to PB1 in Babaji, which is near Gures.
Right.
When we took over from the Welsh, Royal Welsh it was, and they were struggling because of the manpower that they just had.
Right.
They just had a kid that had just been injured as well.
No.
The days before, quite badly injured, lost his legs out there. So they were quite. I know they were in a bit of a bad way. I think they couldn't wait to get home, but you could imagine it being, the end of a 6.5 month tour. You just want to get home, and they had a bad time of it. Couldn't really patrol that far out of the PB. You just didn't have the numbers. But we got there and we were quite, the manpower was there. We had a company that arrived rather than a platoon, so it was different for us. But yeah.
All right. So you must have felt pretty empowered then, being a full strength, a company at full strength.
Yeah, and we were attached to the Afghan army as well. So there was a company, we kind of shared a PB. Half the PB was Afghan army, and half the PB was us. I mean, we had a lot more numbers than they'd only bring out a few guys at a time, but
Yeah.
yeah, they done
So,
what they
so
was.
you're out there. You've relieved the Royal Welch. Things are going from day to day, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I was out there for about 8 weeks. The first week was a little bit, not a lot happened. It was poppy season, so they were harvesting the old poppy, so not a lot of live fire went down. But as soon as them poppies were harvested, and it went red pretty quickly. To be fair,
And that's where they get their money from, isn't it?
yeah. So they don't really get involved in any of the combat stuff once that's but once that's done, and they send off to get the old drug money off, I suppose.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
not too fussed. So yeah, it was quite again massive eye opener for us. We knew it was going to be quite tough out there, but it was yeah, it was be relentless, like out there fighting for hours on end and stuff, and it was most days. Very rarely we went out and didn't come into contact. So it was yeah, it was.
And I mean, go into as much or as little detail as you want on a contact. So what's the feeling and the morale of the men? And by this time, where were you in the hierarchy? What we
So I mean, I was still a private soldier. I had a few discipline issues.
right, okay. Yeah.
I've been on a promotion ban, something that happened.
Right.
But
Oh,
I was,
forgive me for laughing, but it just took me back to some memories then of when you said, yeah, I get you.
I wasn't. I don't know. I was no angel when I was in the put it that way.
Yeah,
You look back now, and obviously you're young and stuff. Nothing like that anymore. I was a bit of a lad when I was a young man. Let's put it lightly.
yeah.
So yeah, but I was a senior soldier out there. I've done my time, well respected within the team. I didn't feel like a private soldier. I felt like
Yeah.
I was in a good position within the company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was eventful. It was eventful out there. Let's put it that way.
And what was your biggest challenge while you were out there?
Um, I mean, for me, I got injured, so I stood on an IED and lost my right leg above me. Um,
And what year was that?
that was in 2010. So that was on the first tour of Afghan. We'd been out on a fighting patrol, been in a fight for a couple of hours, and we were on our way back into camp. Walking down the kind of a side alley, and probably about 7 or 8 people walked kind of ahead of me.
Right.
So, but again, we're talking probably millimeters. It wasn't me. It would have been someone else, kind of in front or behind. So, yeah, but I stood on an ID, took it full force. Only one that was injured, really. Yeah, Again, resulted lost. Kind of knew straight away. Kind of didn't really knock me unconscious or out. You just felt a massive bang, like a deep thud.
Yeah.
Um, you're in a bad way because you've got ECM, you got your day sack wrapped around your neck, and that you're in
Yeah.
obviously awkward position, and then your ears are ringing, and so even though you can wear all the ear defenders if you want, you stand on the pond, and your ears are going.
Yeah.
They'll go
Uh,
right till stick.
And, and thank you for your service. And what was going through your mind at that time when you got the ringing in your ears, and I know what it's like to have the ringing in your ears. I've not lost a limb, but I know what the situation's like. So, what are you thinking then?
It's hard to explain. To be fair, because the first couple of seconds are pretty silent. It's a massive shock, and then the ears start ringing, and then I think kind of knew straight away that was in a bit of a bad way. A lot of people don't experience pain once they've lost limbs or something, but I think because I sustained so many other injuries, I did. The pain was extreme. Again, not really sure how to explain the type of pain, but it's a deep pain. If that, I always kind of say it's a deep pain. You can't explain it. It's a different type of pain that I've ever experienced, but you kind of understand the reason why. You just have to like, but it was a deep pain. But yeah, it wasn't the only kind of injury that I had. So I knew the leg was gone because I looked down and it was the femur bone that was sticking out. The femur was snapped.
Out.
And then the rest of my leg was like mush, if that makes sense. It was like it was the rest of my leg. My left leg was snapped in half from the tib and fib, so lower leg injury that was snapped in half. So that was, and then my right arm was broke. You see on there's a bit of scar tissue damage on there.
Yeah.
That was broke, and obviously a lot of kind of tissue damage on there. And I kind of lost a tib of the finger as well. Bit, small hand kind of injuries and that. Nothing too major. I mean, they don't major at the time, but when it first happens, it's it was a stinger anyway. And yeah, I suppose after that, the team started getting round you then, so you feel a bit more at ease. Obviously, I wasn't thinking. It's weird because I never thought I was going to die. I was in a bad way. I never had him. I never thought to myself, "This is it." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot of people might think that this is it for me, but I never thought I was going to die. I was in a lot of pain and stuff, but I never thought to myself, "This is it." So all these lights flashing before your eyes and all that, I didn't have any of that. Like it wasn't that. But again, we were still kind of in a firefight, so there was a lot of commotion, a lot of panic going around me still. But to be fair, from when the time I was injured to the Chinook coming out, and I don't think it wasn't long at all. It was probably about 12 minutes, something like that. So,
Right.
they obviously they cleared it. Cleared a pathway. There was kind of an open field. Pretty close to everywhere. So they Chinook come in. I remember I had to. They put me on a stretcher, and my leg dangled over the stretcher. So it kind of it was snapped like the calf. I remember that happening because that was again that stung a bit. And then once they put me down ready for the Chinook to come in, they had to straighten my leg. Or you break a bone, you got to put your leg.
Yeah.
When I got that done as well, my mate just said to me, he gave me a bit of wood and said, "You need to bite down this a minute." But yeah, he put my leg straight and just got me on the chopper. I just remember saying to the medic straight away, I just said, "Put me to sleep." That's the first thing I said. As soon as I got on there, I can't remember everything what was going on. There's a team on there, they're all getting around you, working on you, stripping your kit off and stuff. I said to him, mate, just put me to sleep. I need to sleep in a minute, don't worry.
and, and and by the way, uh, because you say on the build-up back in Belize and in Germany, you were the fittest that you'd ever been. So I suppose that because physical fitness, as you know, isn't just about the body, is it? Because it makes your mind fit as well. So I find it extremely interesting that you're not even thinking about dieting, even though you've had bits broken, bits flying off you, missing fingers, and you're still thinking, no, I'm going to be all right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. I don't know why I thought that. I can't explain the reason why I didn't think I was going to die. I just didn't. I didn't feel like it was my time. But yeah, it was a strange one, I suppose. Um, but yeah.
So they've Kazivac you out, and where'd you go? Where'd you go to then?
Yeah, so they took me into the main hospital, the kind of hospital over there in Afghanistan where you treat all the injured soldiers. And they usually get you back to Birmingham pretty sharply. But when I get injured, do you remember the ash cloud that was on?
Yeah.
You know, so that was going on. So I had to wait a couple of days for me to fly back. Then the parts of being in the hospital over in Afghanistan, people come to see me and stuff. Yeah, and I'm probably on all kind of drugs and that. So it's one of them. But yeah, after that, they got me back to Birmingham, to Selly Oak.
Selly Oak, yeah.
Yeah, so again, back there, and it's when your friends and your family can come and see you. Then it was, yeah. Obviously, you're in a ward just full of soldiers that have been injured, some worse than me. So it wasn't a pleasant place to be. Let's put it that way. So I've seen some sights in there. So
yeah, I bet. And how was, because I've been to Selly Oaks a few times, visiting, and what was the general morale like in there?
do you know what? I think once you get to a stage, you become okay. For the first 6 weeks, I couldn't really talk because I had damage to my throat through the other tubes and stuff they put down your throat.
Oh yeah.
What are they called? Vocal cords were bruised.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really speak that much. It was more it was frustrating because basically, obviously, I had the left leg, I had kind of like metal bars through it because it was keeping my leg straight.
Right.
Leg was obviously gone. But both arms were up in slings. So you can imagine I was like this.
So you're like this Mr. Strongman and you can't do anything, yeah?
It was a lot of it was frustration, because you can't move, you can't get your own drink, you can't brush your own teeth. Well, probably the first few weeks were frustrating to me because I couldn't even when I needed painkillers and stuff, I couldn't tell anyone.
So you can't speak, you can't press a buzzer because your hands are up in the air. You can't walk anywhere. Right.
Well, yeah, it was grim. I'm not gonna lie. It was probably the worst time of it. The first few weeks, again, as well. You probably get your head around your life's changed forever as well. And again, to add to that, you're stuck like a scarecrow and you can't move. So, and you can't speak. So it was mentally quite a tough time. But again, it's only a small portion of time. You kind of get your head around it quick enough. Once you start being able to move and getting in a wheelchair and getting about, you can, your friends and family can come and see you, and you can go even just to have a coffee or whatever. And in the canteen and stuff. It becomes a little bit better. Do you know what I mean?
And you start to get your freedom back then, don't you? And you feel, oh yeah, I can move, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And it's kind of no joke in there because I had this. So it's called an Elizarov cage on your left leg. So when it first got broke, you just kind of put makeshift poles in, but like kind of scaffolding poles into the leg.
Yeah.
And then to get obviously a specialist to come in, put this Elizarov cage in. So basically, it's like a Meccano set. You have kind of bolts into each side of your bone, and they rim around of like wires going through. What was going through my knee, the ones through my ankle, the ones through like a central part. So what's there, you kind of want you to get up on it. Away. But the physio was kind of, it was no kind of feeling sorry for yourself. Once you were able to do something, you got up and done it.
Yeah.
Again, probably the mindset thing as well, military mindset. I think you have to get out of that kind of that thought, that they're moping around feeling sorry for yourself. It's never going to get better if you don't get off your ass to do something. So you kind of click into that pretty quick. Becomes kind of determination then to kind of get back on your feet and stuff. I had the cage on for about 14 months in the end. So it held me back a lot. It was frustrating when I had it on. And, the pain of it, I was in pain with it every single day. So you can imagine the frustration, but it saved that part of your leg. So it done its job. So it was worth it.
So I suppose no pain, no gain, literally.
Well, that's it. I was in hospital for 9 weeks. So considering what had happened, 9 weeks to make a decent enough recovery to be able to leave. I think it's not too bad, not too shabby, I suppose.
No, well, not too shabby. I think it's a bit of an understatement, mate. Like that's pretty good going to be out in 9 weeks. Interesting that you mentioned that about 7 or 8 of the blokes in front on that patrol missed that IED. Now, how many of them came to see you at some stage? Because you would have been back and seen the unit, would you?
Yeah, we had people coming in, tips and drops and stuff like that. If I'm being honest, that part was. I mean, they were still on tour.
Yeah.
A lot of time a lot of time out there after that. I did catch up with him back, after it and stuff. But when I was in the hospital, he didn't really get down there.
No, they're still on duty, on tour. The reason I ask is because I always find it interesting about maybe some form of imposter syndrome or guilt syndrome, like people saying, "Oh, that should have been me. It shouldn't have been you, mate." Or I know people who have said he shouldn't have died. It should have been me. Do you know what I mean? And so that's what I was thinking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, myself personally, I'm not one to think that way, to be honest.
No, well, I picked up on the fact that you said if it hadn't been me, it would have been someone else.
Yeah. I mean, they could have had that kind of point of view. I mean, I think some people do but I've been, I don't know whether it's from an early age, I've never felt sorry for myself for too long. I accept stuff, but what's happened can't be changed. So it's one of them. It's how you react to it. Is what matters, isn't it? So I've always been one of them. I've never been a bit of a waves bag or a sulker. I kind of get on with it and deal with stuff as it goes.
And I get that. That comes through in bucket loads and the fact that you just get on with it, and there's no regrets. You're not looking at the past. You're looking to now and to the future, which I think is commendable and it's amazing. So, right, it's clear then that you're not going to be able to function as you did previously as a soldier, right, in
Yeah.
your unit. So what happens then?
I think once I'm fully, well, I say fully fit, once I'm fit enough to kind of, be independent and stuff, and the time in the military is kind of coming to an end, I suppose I'm looking around at stuff to do, but obviously at the time you get a bit of a payoff and stuff for your injuries, you get a pension. So it was, I wanted to do something kind of I enjoyed and I felt passionate about. So I kind of went down the personal training route. I felt it's something that I have a lot of experience in,
Yeah.
through the job, I suppose. Um, I felt like I could offer, I could be the person that's maybe a little bit of inspiration. If I can get fit, and you can do it. Kind of no excuses type of thing.
Yeah.
Which is good. Again, I went away, done the personal training course, got out uh, and started doing it. Really, probably made a mistake of going out of town. I was living in Runcorn, and I kind of went to Liverpool to try and get like a decent client base out there. But to be fair, I didn't really know anyone out there, so I was starting from scratch. So bit of a struggle, but I kind of got there in the end. But again, the whole stop-start thing. I got there. I got out the military in November, and then I think in the April I was back in hospital again with pancreatitis.
Right.
So yeah, back in intensive care for a week. Nearly died from it as well.
Right.
So, yeah, lost a lot of weight. I think I was like 15 stone, something like that. And then went down to like 9.5 stone through the illness. So it was a bad one.
Flipping, that would have been 15 stone to 9.5 stone.
It's it's a bit of a mad one, to be fair.
Flipping
But
it, you don't have like your weight loss programs here, don't you?
these people don't do things by heart, and they do it. I do it. But yeah, that things. It's again unlucky. Kind of had gallstones, and one of the stones got lodged in some tube or whatever, and then yeah, it was again pain was horrendous for that as well. Really, really shocking. Um, yeah, that was again different type of pain, but still ruthless. It's really, really bad, like shocking. But yeah, I mean the reason I got so ill off it really is I was in hospital for about 6 months altogether, really kind of in and out because I had the initial pancreatitis, which is bad enough. But then I kind of went home and I wasn't getting any better and stuff. And I had another attack, and what it was, I grew a cyst on my pancreas, and pseudo cyst, um, which put me back in. I had to move to the Royal in Liverpool where they specialise in that thing. So I was in there for a number of months while I had to drain it and had a number of operations to kind of clean it and stuff. So, yeah, and it was kind of never ending. I was in hospital.
What year was that?
That would have been 2014. That would have been.
Right. Okay.
So again, that's another thing as well. I had to, you think you're getting somewhere, you get out of the military, you get out of the army, you're starting to create it, you're getting somewhere, and then something happened, and it just knocks you straight down to the beginning again. So again, it was just I think you had to kind of build yourself up again. And to be fair, I had like a bag on my side there. It's like because they were draining it and stuff, all
Right.
what's just coming out of it. But I was still going to the gym and stuff with it on. So I was kind of at that mentality where I wanted to kind of get back to where I was. So I wasn't kind of thinking that's it again. Again, the whole thing is not feeling sorry for yourself. I was looking forward to the recovery, getting back on my feet again, and getting stronger and getting fitter again. It wasn't a kind of, mowing and
So at this stage, then you're just a recovery machine, then, aren't you?
a bit. I've had no choice, to be fair. It's one of them. It's not a choice; you just do it. But when something happens to you, you kind of I suppose you have got a choice, but it's always got to be kind of get back to where you was, or better if you can. So
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, definitely. So when we're using the engineers, we use it to build a bridge and get over it. You certainly know to build bridges, don't you?
100%. Yeah. I've had a few not back.
So,
But yeah,
so what's the secret of? Because what I mean, we'll kind of because so far we're only in 2014, so there's a few more years. But I want to know at this stage, what mentality, what was the process that you go through to get the secret of your success, if that makes sense?
I don't know. I wouldn't say you could put your finger on what it is. I suppose I've never liked to be. I don't know. How to explain it. I've always liked to be strong, strong-headed, and kind of strong in body as well, I suppose. I've never liked people looking at me like I'm a weak person.
Right.
I know this sounds quite bad, but when I was in a wheelchair, as soon as I got out of that wheelchair, I always said to myself, I'll never be in a wheelchair again. Even when I had a number of operations and stuff, but I never used a wheelchair. I was always in crutches. And
Yeah.
looking up at a wheelchair, you feel quite vulnerable and stuff. And it's a mindset really of never. You know, maybe it's a bit of an old school mindset. I don't know. Like I say, the world's changed a bit now.
Yeah.
My mind is that I never like to look weak. I never like to look weak-minded. So it was always, and I need to get back to where I was, and nothing's going to stop me. So, yeah, bit of that. Really.
I remember where I think it was my mum was pushing me in a wheelchair, and someone came up that I knew and said, "How's he doing?" And I said, "Ain't much. I'm down here. You can ask me. You don't need to ask me more, but you can ask me how we're doing."
This is it, and I think, listen, I have a kind of people that are in wheelchairs, and that I have a lot of sympathy because I was in one for such a long time, and there's nothing worse than looking up at someone when you're speaking to them in a wheelchair.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe that's kind of my mindset, but it's not. You automatically feel a little bit inferior, like, and I didn't like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like.
and what grips me as well, and I don't know, probably will you, is when people park in a disabled spot and then jump out the car and sprint off to do shopping or whatever. I never get it.
Well, you can imagine some of the looks I get when I park in a blue badge. Then still relatively youngish, like kind of keep yourself in half decent shape and stuff. So you automatically think, especially it's older people, to be fair. You look at park in there, I get the snottiest looks, and I've had people question me and stuff like that.
Have you?
Yeah, I've had people saying, like, kind of, is that bad? And I'm like, yeah, it is. I'm like, I'll show you your injuries and you show you mine. You know what I mean? You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
Yeah.
I mean, I laugh it off, like, but yeah, it's
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, fast forwarding from 2014, how did you crack on then? What happened to your business as a PT? What did you decide to do next?
Yeah, so I was self-employed, so the business, obviously, not much happened to it apart from I couldn't kind of finish trading clients, but I kind of went back to a different gym, and me and a kind of a colleague from the gym got kind of persuaded to take over this gym. I say a gym, it was a fitness studio, and we kind of got kind of coached into taking over from this fella. We were relatively inexperienced, but kind of full of enthusiasm, kind of thing, wanting to make it work. And I think where the gym was and the studio was, it wasn't a great place. He was struggling with money, and he basically palmed it off the nose and said, kind of drop the seed kind of thing. Everyone off, it's a bit stupid. So we took the gym on, and it was going okay, to be fair. It wasn't like a massive kind of failure, but he was from out of town, so he was from Manchester. His missus from Liverpool. He split up. He moved away, so he was kind of leaving it. So obviously I couldn't manage it by myself because the bills and stuff. So anyway, kind of, cut a long story short, we ended up kind of getting fined or kind of sued for it because I couldn't pay the rent. He he left the business as a whole anyway.
Yeah.
DCJs and fine and stuff, but it was I didn't have any knowledge about business and stuff like that, and you go from being a soldier and that's all you know, and you think you're gonna be a personal trainer, it's all gonna be easy. Taking a gym on, it's easy enough, but there's a lot more to it than that. I wasn't aware of it at the time, so again, it was annoying. I annoyed myself more than anything, being stupid enough to take it on, but again, massive learning curve for me.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I only got rid of the CCJ about what 6 months ago, maybe. So
Well, congratulations.
yeah, it put me on hold for quite a long time. So, but again, that's nothing for a reason, but it
Uh,
is what it is.
and I suppose from the transitioning, because we've covered much of that, but the transition from the military, I know your exit was unplanned, so it wasn't like a normal exit transition. And you weren't really equipped for business and financials, and you know what I do. I since 1988, I've been a financial advisor, and I went back in the military, and I didn't leave until 2001 then. But I recognise just how undereducated, if that's the right term, in business and finance, and given that you would have had that sort of guidance, how much difference would that have made to you?
It would have been massive, to be fair. Again, even from a little bit of knowledge that could have kind of give you a little nudge and said, probably not best to do that. You might want to think of this, or kind of going into it blind and kind of naive and quite stupid. Really, you kind of, again, you think you can do anything, don't you? And you don't do anything. You think I'll make it work. That was the case, but again, you would have been a massive help. But again, we'll learn the hard way again, I suppose. It's one of them, isn't it?
Well, and there's two ways to learn: the hard way or the easy way. And the fact is that what I find really amazing about you is you've just got this like boomerang characteristic. You just keep coming back, no matter what. So that business didn't end so well. So what happened after you did that? What?
I went and worked for a local gym, like a pure gym, for a little bit, and still kind of held on to the personal training aspect. But even being quite honest, I lost a lot of love for it then. To be fair, wasn't sure what route I wanted to go down, so I started kind of looking on the old the ITB website, so looking at different jobs and stuff,
Yeah.
looking at different courses I could do. So I jumped on it, called an Amazon Web Services course in Manchester. It was a kind of a free course to attend. So a lot of people that attended the course were kind of still in the military.
Yeah.
So I went onto that course, and it was more about IT and stuff. But again, didn't really have much of a feel for it. I just wanted to go and have a look. It was a free course. I wasn't doing much.
Yeah.
So I went on the course and kind of opened my eyes a little bit to different aspects, different roles. I went away and at the back of that, and done a Prince 2 course in project management. That's why I do all the good stuff. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So yes, and currently with Steve Doolan just at the minute, and we're covering his military career and how he's getting on now in civilian street. One of the things that I find amazing is that just his resilience and ability to just bounce back, no matter what challenge he has, because he's always been able to overcome it. And what I've found with interviewing veterans and some people who are still in the military is that this remarkable resilience. So you lost the love. You went on the AWS course, and then you found that useful, even though it may not be what you eventually want to do. What happened next then?
Yeah, so I went and done a Prince 2 qualification in project management. It's kind of a general qualification, you know, it's more of the basic principles of project management, and those are kind of a good thing to have your CV. So I went away and done that and put a CV together and put it on, you know, normal kind of Indeed and stuff.
Yeah.
That did pretty swiftly, actually, by a local business for a project coordinator job for a retail installation company. Yeah, and it was in Runcorn. It was 5 minutes down the road. So I went, done the interview, got the job pretty much first go. With happy days. And again, another massive learning curve for me. Working within an office environment, learning how to work a computer. Never used one really. Obviously, I've used computers, basic computer skills and stuff, but never used Excel, never really used Word. Had to kind of learn the basics, learn how to kind of speak to people in the office. Because again, coming from that military environment, it's not always, I don't know.
It's not exactly the same sort of environment in an office, is it?
It's probably similar to working on the building site, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know, the cracks are a little bit different and stuff, so you have to kind of stay in the environment. Not that that's a bad thing, but yeah, so it was just about kind of learning that and working within an office environment and kind of learning new skills really that I'd never had. But I understand. I understood the detail that I was starting from the bottom and I had to work my way up. I was, you know, I wasn't going to go in there and kind of, you know, step on anyone's toes or anything. I knew the level I was starting at, but I was prepared to do it.
Good.
Yeah, it was. I mean, massive learning experience for me. I mean, the money wasn't great. The business I was working for wasn't great, if I'm being honest. But it was a massive learning curve, and you know,
And they gave you a break and the ability to train as well. So
yeah, well, that's it. That's it. But yeah, I was there for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years.
So this brings us up to pretty much modern day now, then, doesn't it? Up to date.
Yeah. So yeah, obviously, how I got into my job now is I was one of my old captains in my regiment. I'd set up a charity to help ex-military find a pathway into the construction industry.
Oh, wow.
Project Recce, they're called. You might have heard of them.
Yeah.
A guy called Lord Moore. So he kind of, one of my mates is going through him, and he attended one of the courses, and he come to me. I was looking for a bit of a change. He said, why don't you speak to Lord? And, you know, I always thought the construction industry was, I always thought the physical aspect of it. So I thought, you know, I'm not going to be able to do half of that stuff and that. But he said, you know, just attend the course. I'll come and have a chat with me, or we'll talk. And so I ended up ringing him, having a chat, and he said, you know, explain about all the different roles and stuff that it entails. It's not just kind of your brickies and your sparks and all that good stuff. So yeah, it was good. I attended the course. It was a 4-week course. So it was 3 weeks face to face. It was in Manchester, one of the Royal Regions.
All right. Yeah.
Really good course, actually. Again, opened my eyes. I got the chance to speak to different companies and stuff, and then done a little bit of work experience in for a company called Morgan Sindles on the Spine building in Liverpool City Centre. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Right.
Yeah, I've done a bit on there. And to be fair, COVID hit not long after that. So again, threw another mixer in, I suppose. But I ended up working for Project Recce for a few months, doing general admin tasks and stuff like that. And I was doing bits and bobs on the course, done like a bit of a talk on resilience and stuff. So I was still working, probably more part time. But again, it kept me busy, I suppose. And then off the back of that, one of the guys who had been on the course and was actually working for Balfour Beatty, who shared a job from the website as a public liaison officer for Balfour Beatty. I had a look at the kind of different aspects of the role, but yeah, probably something I could do that. Yeah, applied for the job, went for the interview, and luckily got the job. And kind of been in this role ever since, really.
That's absolutely brilliant. And you've certainly got the experience to do it. So fabulous. Out of interest, by the way, thank you so much for sharing that history with me. That's just phenomenal. And talk about my favourite phrase. Well, I think it reflects a lot of what happens in the military is it happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it's what we do with it when it happens that I find always fantastic about us military guys, men and women. So
yeah,
how transferable do you think the skills are that you learn in the military and you pick up from challenges that are really valuable in Civvy Street? And by the way, I noticed that each time you say, "Oh, I didn't really know a lot about that, and I wasn't sure whether I could do it." So, how valuable do you think the skills are in the military and transferable to Civvy Street?
in the massive, I think a big one within the military is communication skills. You need to be spot on in communication skills, especially kind of when you're going away on tour and you're in, in that type of environment. So your communication skills need to be on point. I think that really transfers. You can communicate well within any industry, really. I think having the background within the military gives you a certain confidence as well. Usually like to take different roles on. You're not afraid to kind of be counted for, and you understand that you can't do everything perfect, but if you do it to the best of your ability, then it's kind of all that matters, really. So yeah, I think communication and having a bit of bit of confidence, bit of self-confidence, I think it goes a long way.
And thank you. We're coming to the end now. I mean, I could talk with you for days, actually. And we haven't got days because I know you've got to do some stuff. And by the way, you're still recovering from the bug that you got. So just to finish with, what's the one big thing, the top tip that you would give to someone leaving the military, either through forced leaving or structured leaving, forced from injury or whatever? What's the one tip you would give them to be successful on Civvy Street, or even someone who has left, but maybe on tough times?
I think the main one is be resilient. I think it's easy to kind of look at something and give up pretty much straight away. Identify what your skills are and where you'd like to go within your career, and stick to it. Create an idea of where you want to be and who you want to be, and be resilient with it. I think people, in my eyes, people think you try something once, as you go your way, you can give up, or you get your head down and think, no, this is never going to work. But with anything, the more you do something, the better you get. Yeah, you eventually, you go out and, I don't know, play tennis. You play tennis for the first time, you're gonna be rubbish. Or you play there, you're gonna be at a certain level. It's like a work environment. When I first started my first job, I was rubbish at the job. I didn't know anything about it. You start from scratch. You're in an environment that you've got no knowledge of. I I had pretty much basic knowledge of construction and civil engineering. Um, Now I'd say at a decent enough level, maybe not on the technical side of things, but I understand the aspect of how it works and
Yeah.
why they're done the way they are. So again, it's just about being resilient because you're never going to be perfect at anything when you're only just starting off. So stick at it, and know times you know times the best thing you have, isn't it? When
Yeah.
you're doing that, time is the more time you spend doing something, the better you get. And even if it's by accident, you do something every day. By accident, even if you don't want to get better at something, you'll get better because you're doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so I'd say, yeah, just resilient, be resilient with it. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Well, listen, Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I'm so pleased that you're well on the road when you've recovered and you're well on the way to even better and more success. Thank you.
Well, thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me on, mate. It's been good.
Take care, bud. Cheers.
Bye now.
JoeTeams.com is a resource I have created to fulfill my mission to help 1 million veterans and business entrepreneurs like you achieve the goals, dreams, and aspirations they deserve. JoeTeams.com is jam-packed full of valuable resources specifically designed to help you on your journey to success. Visit JoeTeams.com now to find out how you can join and start your journey to success immediately. That's JoeTeams.com, JoeTeams, JoeTeams.com. And until we meet again, have a brilliant day.